I may be heading towards the exit sign sooner rather than later with this thing. I don't want to, but I may just have to accept where I'm at in terms of this whole content thing that I'm doing, this content space. I might really be in the Shaq Celtics stage of my career. After making yesterday's Myles Garrett video, I need to take a long, hard look in the mirror. Would old Deke have made a video like that? Myles Garrett requested a trade, and the first thing I think of is, how could the Steelers trade for him? My God. My God. We knew it wasn't happening. Why the fuck did I still make the video? Can I not help myself? Am I that desperate? And I actually thought, I was excited to make the video. I thought it was a fun video. To imagine dismantling the Browns organization and having TJ and Myles paired together, the two best edge rushers in the league. You know, what would the price be? I know it's probably not happening. It's not happening, but if it did, what would be the trade package that could get it done, et cetera, et cetera. My mind was spinning with ideas that I thought were good at the time, but maybe my sentiments don't hit the same anymore. I used to think I knew what the people wanted. I used to think I knew what the people needed, but I might just be out of touch. I'm washed. I'm Pat P in a Steelers uniform. I truly may be. Truly. I may be on the back nine of this thing and didn't realize it. I apologize. Not only to you, but to myself. Got to get it together. If not, the end might be sped up. Someone even asked if I was drinking yesterday before making that video. And no, I wasn't. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I got to get back to drinking and giving some takes. I swear that's where some of my best takes came from. But yeah, maybe things will be better. There's always a new day. And all we can do is go forward. We can only hope. So one more thing, though, with this Myles Garrett situation before we move on to a more realistic trade. Yesterday, after the news broke about Myles Garrett wanting out of Cleveland, Browns fans held a protest of that trade request, and here's what the scene looked like.
A protest gathering outside Brown Stadium in order to show their anger about this whole Myles Garrett situation to ownership. And sure, it happened. We're here at the protest now. To be honest, there's still people showing up. Some guys just arrived with a Bluetooth speaker, so stuff's about to go down. But if we are being honest, there are probably more journalists here than there are protesters currently. We've got a very good journalist representation. There's another guy way over there. Cleveland Browns content creators who are here showing their displeasure over this situation. And what made you think this is the best way to approach the problem?
Just to show Myles that we love him. You know, he sees people standing outside the stadium. Clearly, there's a lot of people who care enough. Hopefully, we get more people who show up and show that they care enough.
Bruh, the crowd is so weak because no one blames Myles in this situation. The Browns ain't trying to trade Myles, you know, like the Mavs traded Luka. Myles just wants a better situation, and everyone understands him, which is why this really doesn't make it a protest, this thing that the content creators are trying to do here. This isn't a protest. It can't be a protest if you're in support of the person or the thing that you're protesting. Like, it can't be a protest if you're supporting at the same time. It's not really clear messaging. Browns fans can't even do protest right.
It's the Browns.
Anyway, now let's talk Cooper Kupp. The Rams receiver officially announced on Twitter he is on the trade block. He says, I was informed that the team will be seeking a trade immediately and will be working with me and my family to find the right place to continue competing for championships. I don't agree with the decision. Always believed it was going to begin and end in L.A. Still, if there's one thing that I've learned over the years, there are so many things that are out of your control, but it is how you respond to these things that you will look back on and remember. I've taken so much pride in playing alongside my teammates for the LA community, so thank you for embracing my family and making this such a special place for us. 2024 began with one of the best training camps of my career. Preparations start now for 2025. Highly motivated, as healthy as ever, and looking forward to playing elite football for years to come. Love you guys, but coming for it all. So the Steelers clearly still need a receiver. We talked about trying to trade for Kupp before last season's trade deadline. But as we sit here now, does it still make sense? Honestly, my initial reaction was if we did trade for Cooper Kupp, now that he's available, we also somehow got to get Stafford as well, because if not, I don't really know how Cooper Kupp is really going to change things here by himself, not only because of where Coop is at this stage in his career, being 32. He's a few years removed from that Triple Crown season at this point, but also the fact that we still don't know what the hell we're doing on offense or at the quarterback position just yet. Like, it would be a definite downgrade for Kupp from what he was dealing with in LA, having McVay and Stafford. And if his impact was dwindling out there with those pieces in place, how is it going to get any better here in Pittsburgh? Anyway, I'm open to it as long as it doesn't stop us from adding another receiver via the draft. You look at our wide receiver room of Pickens, Kupp, a rookie receiver you draft in the first 3 rounds, a Roman Wilson, Calvin Austin III, and Ben Skoranek. That's not half bad. Problem is, there's a few red flags here. Kupp's cost, his health, and his production. 3 pretty big red flags. Like, those are typically the 3 key things you look at when talking about adding a player to your team. And apparently his cap hit for 2025 is going to be $29 million, which is too much. But there's something about, you guys got to stick with me here on this as I try to get through the rest of like the whole money stuff here. There's something about his future team only maybe taking on $20 million of that in base salary if he's traded before March 15th. But if it's after March 15th, it would only be $12.5 million, which is why the Rams are trying to trade him now. They want to offload as much of that contract, as much of that salary as they can, because there's something about a $7.5 million roster bonus that's due on March 15th, and that affects some things. I don't know what to think. My only concern is the cap hit, and I can't really find good information on it. Like, what does that $20 million base salary have to do with the $29 million cap hit? The $12.5 million base salary after March 15th, what does that have to do with the potential cap hit? Maybe those are the cap hits for the new team. I'm not sure. I can't find good information on it, so that could just be maybe something that's still in flux naturally and can be agreed upon by the Rams and whatever team ends up making the deal. But let's just say, for sake of argument, the cap hit is between, well, let's just say it's $17 million. We'll split the difference there. Could you live with that if you're the Steelers? I'd say yeah, but not if I'm giving up much in terms of draft picks, because I'm not sure. I'm really not sure how much Cooper Kupp got left in the tank. He had some big games last year, but remains steady getting injured. Hasn't had a full season under his belt since 2021. Has missed around like 4 or 5 games in these last 3 years. And then the fact, too, he tailed off towards the end of last season. Even with him coming back from injury, I think it was end of October, beginning of November. Those last like 7, 8 games, like he came back from injury really strong. And when he had those, it was like those first 2 games. Remember, that was right before the trade deadline. We were talking about the Steelers potentially trading for him. Rams saw a couple big games from him, and they were still in the NFC West mix. So they're like, yeah, we're definitely not trading Cooper Kupp. But then after that, he tailed off. His last like 5, 6 games was pretty irrelevant. And if the Rams are that eager to trade him, you got to start questioning things. You got to wonder to yourself, there's got to be a reason. It's almost like, because the Steelers typically do a good job of this, of moving off of big-name players a little bit early. Usually you're thinking, like, why is that team, why is that organization getting rid of that player? There's got to be something that we don't know. And typically, like, Steelers are more in the right than wrong when moving off of those big name guys. And obviously the Rams are a pretty well-run organization. They got a McVay, they got a good GM, Stafford, all this stuff. They feel like they're still in the mix. So why are you that apt to be moving off of Kupp like this? And part of it is going back to what I said in terms of like the red flags of a team that would be acquiring Kupp. It's Kupp's cost, it's his current cost, it's his health and his production. That's why the Rams are saying, I don't know if we could rely on Kupp like that anymore for this $29 million cap hit. But could one man's trash be another man's treasure? We'll have to see, and that all depends if Kupp still got something left in the tank at 32. I'm for it. I'm not going crazily out of my way if I'm the Steelers because there's still free agent options of similar caliber, maybe not to the degree of Cooper Kupp, but you could also get them for less of the price. Like there's a Stephon Diggs out there. There's Amari Cooper, like a Marquise Brown. I wouldn't mind taking a flyer on. T. Higgins, he's the main guy in terms of this receiver free agency class. Like honestly, outside of T. Higgins, no matter what receiver we bring in, whether we're talking Kupp, whether we're talking some of those free agents that I just named, we still got to draft the receiver early on. Because whether they're just adding depth or potentially being like Pickens' replacement, like you definitely have to add a receiver in like these first 2 or 3 rounds, no matter what you do in free agency, what you do via trade, outside of maybe T. Higgins. But even with T. Higgins, I wouldn't be mad about taking a receiver 2nd or 3rd round. Because again, he might be Pickens' replacement. Think of whenever we drafted Pickens, we had Deontay and Claypool. We weren't even thinking receiver like that. But, it's such a valuable position on offense these days. Can't really have enough of good, talented guys at that position. But that's it for today's show. I do have a quick life update. I alluded to that briefly on yesterday's video. I will no longer be doing the podcast with Moats. Just taking a step towards the next chapter of my life and trying some things out on my own. And I guess I'll get into what that means in terms of content and stuff like that at a later time. Probably just within the next couple weeks of, what can you expect going forward. But I got nothing but gratitude and appreciation towards Moats for giving me the chance and the 5-year run that we went on with the show. Wouldn't be here without him giving me that opportunity. And I talked to him last week, and it's all good, man. Like, there's no bad blood. It's nothing but gratitude, respect, and appreciation. So, but for the short term, what can you expect, at least in this short time frame? At least probably some more consistent content on this channel, because I ain't gonna front. I mean, I'm not gonna front, and you guys at times have let me know in the comments. Like I've been slacking, man. I've been slacking. So yeah, more consistent content on this channel, and I will be live every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday over on Bleach Report, like the Bleach Report app. And you guys know I repost some of that content over here. But if you want to be like a part of the live conversation, help direct the content, be a part of the chat, like you could go over on Bleach Report. It's like the live's exclusive over there. But yeah, I will be there every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 6 p.m. Going forward. So check that out. I have the link in the description, so if you want to follow my account over on Bleach Report, you could do that. I will try to be better too at letting you guys know. Well, it's 6 p.m. every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But in terms of maybe like reminders and getting some reminders out there that I'll be over there and this is going to be today's show, or this is going to be the content on today's show, like stop through. I'll try to be better with that. But yeah, that's kind of just the quick life update. There's going to be, as I said, there's going to be more updates just on content and stuff going on over the following weeks or maybe month or so. So stay tuned for that. But until then, stay chilling. Hope you guys enjoyed today's show. Let me know your thoughts on Myles Garrett requesting the trade, some of the aftermath of that, and also Cooper Kupp, like officially on the trade, but he's getting traded. He let us know on Twitter he's getting traded. The Rams are trying to trade him sooner rather than later. Should we make the move? Should we do it? But stay chilling. Again, hope you guys enjoyed, and peace.